My name is Margaret Anne Caldwell. I am 117 years old, and if you're listening to me right now, I want you to understand something. I didn't live this long by accident, and I didn't live this long because life was gentle with me. People always lean in close when they hear my age. Their eyes widen like I'm some kind of miracle. What's your secret? They ask. They expect a magic formula, a rare vitamin, a hidden trick nobody else knows. But the truth is plain, old-fashioned, and maybe a little uncomfortable. I survived because I learned how to endure, how to forgive, and how to wake up every single morning with a reason to keep going. I was born in 1908 in a small farmhouse outside Des Moines, Iowa. There was no electricity when I first opened my eyes to this world. My mother cooked on a cast-iron stove, and my father worked the fields from sunrise to sunset. I grew up before the Great Depression, and I was barely a young woman when it hit. I watched strong men crumble under the weight of empty pockets and broken pride. I married my husband, Daniel Caldwell, in 1929, the same year the stock market crashed. We started our life together with hope, not money. By 1932, hope was about all we had left. Daniel took whatever work he could find. I mended clothes, baked bread, and stretched every dollar until it cried for mercy. We ate simple food, beans, potatoes, garden vegetables. Meat was a Sunday blessing, not a daily expectation. But we sat at that small wooden table every night, holding hands, and we were grateful. Gratitude, I learned early, feeds you in ways food cannot. I lost my baby brother to a fever when I was just a girl. I lost friends to war. I lost neighbors to illness. And at 72, I lost Daniel to a quiet heart attack in his sleep. 49 years of marriage, gone in one still morning. I remember standing in my kitchen after the funeral, staring at the chair he used to sit in. The silence felt louder than thunder. That was the moment I understood something powerful. Loneliness can either shrink you or stretch you. I chose to let it stretch me. I started volunteering at the church kitchen. I walked every morning, even when my knees complained. Not fast, not far, just enough to remind my body we were still in this fight together. Movement became my daily promise to myself. I never smoked. I watched what cigarettes did to people I loved. I never drank to escape my pain. Pain demands to be felt, not buried. Instead, I talked. I prayed. I forgave. Forgiveness, now that's a secret nobody wants to hear about. I held a grudge once, for nearly 5 years, against my own daughter over words spoken in anger. Those 5 years are my biggest regret. When we finally made peace, she cried in my arms and said, "Mama, we wasted so much time." Time is the one thing even 117 years cannot replace. From that day forward, I forgave faster. Stress will age your face. Bitterness will age your bones. Peace, though, peace will carry you further than medicine ever could. In my 80s, I learned how to use a computer so I could email my grandchildren. In my 90s, I started light stretching every morning because my doctor said flexibility meant independence. In my 100s, I stopped caring what anybody thought about me. That freedom alone probably added years to my life. When you live this long, you see the world reinvent itself over and over. I was born into a world of horses and handwritten letters. I watched men walk on the moon. I saw the rise of the internet. I've watched society argue, rebuild, and argue again. Through all of it, one truth never changed. People need purpose. The years I felt most alive weren't the easiest ones. They were the years I was needed, raising children, supporting my husband, serving meals to strangers, reading stories to little ones at the library when I was already in my 80s. Purpose wakes you up in the morning. Without it, the body begins to surrender. People ask me if I'm afraid of dying. At 117, death doesn't frighten me. It feels like an old neighbor who will knock someday. I'm not rushing to answer the door, but I'm not hiding from it either. I've lived through poverty, war, heartbreak, and change that would make your head spin. I buried friends, siblings, even one of my sons. Longevity is not just a blessing. It is a heavy crown. You must learn to carry grief without letting it crush your spirit. If you truly want to know my secret, here it is in plain American English. Live simply, move your body, guard your peace, forgive quickly, love deeply, and never stop being curious. Don't chase a long life. Chase a meaningful one. I never counted calories. I never followed trends. I listened to my body. I rested when tired. I worked when able. I laughed often, especially in hard times. Laughter is stubborn. It survives where pride cannot. Every morning I wake up, even now, I whisper thank you. My hands tremble. My hearing fades in and out. I move slower than the world around me, but my heart is steady. Gratitude keeps it that way. I survived 117 years not because I was the strongest woman in the room, but because I refused to quit when life tried to bend me. Survival is not dramatic most days. It's washing dishes when you're tired. It's taking a walk when your legs ache. It's making a phone call to mend a broken relationship. It's choosing hope again and again. My name is Margaret Anne Caldwell. I am 117 years old. And if tomorrow morning comes and I open my eyes once more, I will sit by my window with my cup of tea, watch the sunrise paint the sky, and remind myself that the real secret to longevity was never about adding years to my life. It was about adding life to my years.